In 2016, Next.js was a simple React server-side rendering tool replacing complex manual Webpack configurations. Next.js 16 is a multi-runtime, interconnected infrastructure platform. It manages its own caching logic, global edge deployments, and two entirely different routing systems within a single framework. On Reddit and the dev community, teams are locked in debates over this expansion. While some developers report 10x performance gains with the new app router, others point to broken third-party dependencies and unstable ecosystems as reasons to stay on the legacy Pages architecture. Upgrading to the latest version of this framework is no longer a routine maintenance task. It is a strategic decision that carries significant technical and financial risk. If you deploy to a serverless platform that scales automatically, a single unoptimized loop in your code can trigger thousands of dollars in overage bills before your team even wakes up. Choosing a bleeding-edge router can lead to months of technical debt if your project's core dependencies haven't been updated to support React server components. Legacy rendering methods often create slow initial load times. In an environment where Google's AI crawlers prioritize fast, pre-rendered content, these delays actively harm your search visibility. Avoiding these traps requires you to ignore framework marketing. Success depends on mapping your strict budget and team constraints directly to specific technical choices. The legacy Pages router uses a predictable file-to-route mapping system. If you put a file in the folder, it becomes a URL. This system maintains deep compatibility with the last decade of React libraries. It is the safest choice for projects relying on established third-party tools that need to run entirely in the browser. The trade-off is bundle size. This introduces a learning curve. Teams must manually build client-server boundary wrappers for any legacy package that isn't yet compatible with server-side execution. Your choice of router establishes your development priority, either immediate ecosystem stability or long-term performance through JavaScript minimization. Traditional server-side rendering ensures that every user gets fresh, personalized data by generating the page at the exact moment it is requested. This diagram shows the core flaw of SSR on the left. The server is blocked from sending any HTML to the user until the absolute slowest database query finishes its work. This waterfall creates a slow time to first byte. When search engines encounter this delay, they often deprioritize the page in their rankings. Partial pre-rendering, or PPR, solves this by instantly serving a static HTML shell from a CDN edge node while the server is still processing the data. Dynamic data then streams into that shell in parallel. The user can see and interact with the page layout before the final data even arrives. PPR requires granular architectural discipline. If a developer places a dynamic API call outside a suspense boundary, Next.js cannot generate the static shell, and the page reverts to slow, blocking rendering. Improving your core web vitals now requires moving away from monolithic page loads and adopting component-level rendering strategies. Vercel's managed infrastructure offers zero configuration deployments and a global edge network that removes almost all operational friction for a development team. However, managed serverless platforms often lack hard financial caps. Without careful monitoring, auto-scaling can turn a traffic spike into a massive, unbudgeted expense. Self-hosting on a virtual private server using tools like Coolify provides a fixed-cost alternative. A VPS offers predictable monthly billing, but it requires your team to handle the DevOps workload, including server security, Docker configurations, and manual load balancing. If you choose the Edge runtime for its near-instant boot times, you lose access to the standard Node.js file system and many traditional database drivers. Your choice of host dictates how your backend logic is written. The infrastructure determines whether your code has access to the full Node.js API or a restricted subset designed for the edge. We can map these architectural choices to your primary constraints. Every path involves a specific sacrifice in budget, team time, or performance. Solo developers bootstrapping on a tight budget should use the app router with a self-hosted VPS. This guarantees cost control at the expense of the global speed provided by managed edge networks. Teams at the enterprise level should pair the app router with Vercel and PPR. This configuration maximizes SEO and load performance at the expense of higher platform costs and vendor lock-in. If your project depends on massive legacy third-party libraries, remain on the Pages router. This ensures business stability today, even if it limits your future performance ceiling. The optimal framework stack is relative. The correct architecture is simply the one that removes your project's most immediate bottleneck. Avoid adopting complex, bleeding-edge architectures if your project's current scale doesn't justify the overhead. Planning infrastructure based on social media hype or framework marketing leads to unnecessary complexity. Architectural maturity is defined by protecting the business. The newest features are only valuable if they solve a problem you are actually hitting in production.